All right, it's playoff time for the final week. This week's games, we had Broncos and Bengals was definitely the best game. Close overtime matchup. Lots of mistakes made by both teams though, so hopefully you're not a huge fan of either one. Otherwise, it would have been hard to watch. Falcons Commanders was also a very good game. I was tempted to put that one at number one. If you want to put that over Broncos Bengals, then I'm not gonna fight you on that. And then Lions 49ers. The 49ers actually played with a lot of pride and kept it close for quite a lot of the game. And if it wasn't for those missed kicks by Moody, they probably would have won that one. But anyway, the those were the best games. Then we got Packers Vikings was okay. It was close until it wasn't. The Packers decided to start good and then end good. It was just in the middle. They didn't do much of anything. Colts and Giants was surprisingly a good game, unless you're a Colts fan like myself. It just wasn't quite. It was a bit heartbreaking, but you feel good for the Giants and for Drew Lock to play good. Uh, Titans Jaguars, close divisional round matchup. Nothing really to play for both teams, but they definitely wanted the win. And I mean, Titans fans, at least you helped your tank out, you know. Raiders Saints. Raiders, you hurt your tank, but I think that was a game of pride, wanting to get the win there. Saints fans, I'm sorry, I don't know if you got much to look forward to next year, other than Derek Carr coming back, but we'll see if he even plays next year. The worst games of the week, though, we got Chiefs Steelers, the Christmas game. It was very disappointing. Ravens Texans was somehow even worse. Cowboys and Eagles, that one was it was okay. Division matchups always fun, but the Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb, I thought they'd do a lot better. And I think they would have if they had Lamb, but without him, the Eagles just walked all over them. And the Panthers Bucks, it was a fun matchup. It's nice to see Bryce Young playing well, but that Panthers defense needs help next year, or they will be bad yet again. The worst games though, Chargers Patriots. The Patriots had one of their worst games all year, but at least it helps their tank out. They got the number one pick. Jets and Bills. Yeah, it was Aaron Rodgers is done. Like he just seems physically and emotionally just drained and done with football. But anyway, Cardinals and Rams was also very one-sided. I think the Cardinals, knowing that they had no chance left, just kind of gave up. Feels bad for Trey McBride though. I hope he has a good year next year because that loss, that it bounced off his helmet at the end, and they could have at least tied, I think, with the field goal. But yeah, definitely going to be weighing on him all off season. So we'll see how he does next year. And the worst game is going to have to be the Dolphins at Browns. It was just one-sided. Just DTR did not look good at all. So ranking the teams, I'm going to put the Buccaneers now at number one. They look like they're ready for the playoffs. It's probably just because they played that Panthers defense, but with how good they're looking, I feel confident putting them at number one right now. Number two, the Bills, though. They dominated the Jets. Number three, the Chargers. I'm putting them back up. They seem to be very wishy-washy. A bit scared for them going into the postseason, but playing the way they did just now, I kind of wish they played a different team than the Raiders, because I think they'll win that one easily. But I think that they're looking good right now for postseason. They look like they're gonna, especially with how bad the Texans are right now. But number four, I got the Ravens. Not a super, dominant performance, but they've been getting better and better. Oh wait, no, they was pretty dominant. Never mind. They've just been looking good. They're getting hot at the right time. It seems like they had a slow start, but I think they're ready for a postseason push. Number five, I got the Lions. Can't leave them out of the top five. They're going to be playing the Vikings this week for the number one seed. That's insane. Number six, we got the Eagles. They're kind of like the Chargers. They go up and down. Good win for Kenny Pickett, though. They'd probably be higher if they had Hurts, but I'm a little worried he won't play this week, and I'm definitely worried that he won't make it for the postseason. That would be terrible if they lose in the wild card week because of Hurts not making it. But anyways, seven, we got the Vikings. They do have a chance for the number one seed. I expect them to lose to the Lions, but it was a very good win against the Packers. I'm glad they got I'm a little concerned with how the Packers almost came back at the end. But the Vikings, I think, deserve to still be this high. Number 8, I got the Packers. I mean, if you beat them, I would have put you higher. But the good news for the Packers, I had you at number 1 previously. I think that you can bounce back. You're playing the Bears next. So I think it'll be a good chance for the Packers to get a good win going into the wild card weekend, get the number 6 seed, and maybe get another upset like last year. Number 9, I got the Bengals. I don't think they're going to make the postseason because I think the Chiefs are going to let the Broncos beat them just to keep them out because no one wants to play that offense. So it's a shame, really, but man, that offense has been something this year. And number 10, I got the Commanders. Can't leave them out of the top 10. They look like they're ready for the postseason as well, and they're definitely going to cause. They're going to be, even though they're just going to be the 7th seed, they got a chance for an upset against the Eagles. They beat them earlier. The Eagles always struggle with them. Number 11, I got the Chiefs. I just keeping you out of the top 10 to spite you, but you're definitely a good team that deserves to be around that mark. 12, I got the Falcons, dropping you guys. Michael Penix didn't look as good as he did against the Giants. But the way you're looking, I think that it gives you hope for next year at least. And hey, I think you're not out of it yet. I think if the Bucks lose and the Falcons win, they can still host a game. Number 13, I got the Dolphins. I also think they're not going to make it like the Falcons and the Bengals, but you're looking like a team that's on that bubble and desperate to get in and playing hard to get in. 14, I got the Raiders. I'm going to put you up because you got a good win. I know it messes up your tank, but it was definitely a big win for that team and for Pierce. They definitely they played with a lot of pride in that game. 15, I got the Broncos, dropping you guys after losing to the Bengals. And now you might not make the postseason if you lose to the Chiefs. And the good news is you're playing the backups, but the bad news is that there's a good chance you won't make it in if you lose to them. 16, we got the Rams. Another team that looks like I think that they've wrapped up. Yeah, they've wrapped it up now. They'll be hosting a playoff game, so I don't think they'll do too much against the Seahawks this week. But we'll see what they do postseason. Still gotta keep them in the top half. 17, I got the Giants, putting you guys higher. Same case as the Raiders. You got a good win, played with pride. It messes up your tank, but hey, at least it feels good to get a win. Drew Lock making a case for himself to be the starter next year. 18, I got the Colts, dropping you guys pretty badly. If you want to be higher, maybe you should have beaten the Giants, but it looks like your season is officially over now, and it's just kind of a shame that Anthony Richardson just can't stay healthy because Flacco was not it. 19, I got the Jaguars, putting them higher after a win against the Titans. Still not anything super good, though. 20, the Seahawks. I'm just kind of, I don't know what that game was. You scored 6 points. You won, but we scored 6 points. So I got my Seahawks shirt on. Hopefully we destroy the Rams this week. But, I mean, they got nothing to play for, so I imagine we'll beat them. But it'll more just be for pride, I guess. 21, we got the Niners, same boat. You're not making the postseason, but you played the Lions well. Not sure how you'll do this week, knowing your season's over. But alas, there's too many injuries to the running backs. 22, I got the Titans. At least your tank is looking good. You guys will have a top 5 pick. Oh, there's a kitty cat. 23, we got the Jets. Nothing much to say with you guys. I thought of putting you lower, but I feel like with one bad game, I'm not quite convinced to put you lower, and you were playing the Bills, so we'll see how you do against the Dolphins. But I expect the Jets are going to be pretty bad. 24, we got the Texans. I'd put you higher because you're making the postseason, but you guys have not looked good of late, losing to the Chiefs, now losing to the Ravens. It's just not really a confidence booster going into the postseason, especially losing Tank Dell like that, and Diggs is still going to be out. I think that we'll just have to see how far their defense can take them if CJ can do anything. But week 18 right now, they don't look too good. 25, I got the Cardinals. Their season's just done. They've given up. Sorry to Trey McBride. It was a good attempt, and hopefully he doesn't hurt himself too much this offseason, but he's going to be in his own head a lot. 26, I got the Cowboys, dropping you guys pretty heavily. I think that if CD had played, you'd still be a top 10 team, even with Cooper Rush. But I think it feels like the Cowboys know their season's done, and they just kind of want to tank now. 27, the Steelers, kind of the same boat as the Texans. You're making the postseason, but you're on like a 3-game losing streak right now, and I think they're going to lose to the Bengals to make it a 4-game losing streak going into the postseason. It's nothing good. 28, the Panthers. Got to drop you guys a bit after losing to the Bucks like that. Your defense is just abysmal. Hopefully, you can fix it next year because your offense is actually looking pretty good. 29, I got the Saints, kind of in the same boat with you guys. Just we'll see what you can do next year. 30, I got the Browns. DTR's not it. Kind of a shame that neither him nor Jameis Winston could pull it off, so I think that they'll definitely be drafting a QB. I think they'll be having a pretty high pick. 31, I got the Patriots. Definitely your worst game of the year. I think you're I really liked what we saw from Drake May. And I guess they looked good against the Bills last week, but man, I feel like they're just, at this point, just ready for their number one pick. And they have their quarterback. I like May. So I'm curious who they're going to trade up with and what they're going to get out of it. But I think that Mayo's going to be able to make a good deal for that trade. And 32, we got the Bears. Got to put you guys at the bottom now just because you put up 3 points. I'm sorry to everyone who expected a good year from the Bears. Hopefully Caleb Williams can show progression in year 2. I'm curious who you'll get as head coach, but this was a terrible game. What a way to end Thursday night games with something like that. So, week 18 games. We got Cleveland at Baltimore. I'm going to pick Baltimore. I think that it's just going to be a blowout. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. I think this one's going to be a win for the Bengals. Sorry, Steelers. But the Bengals want to keep their playoff hopes alive, even if they have to rely on the Chiefs of all teams. Carolina, Atlanta. This one's going to be close, but I'm going to pick Carolina. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Michael Penix is looking good if they end up winning it. But I like what we've seen from the Carolina offense, and I think both teams are just looking to end the year with a win. Atlanta, I know they have a chance to get in if they win and the Bucks lose, but I don't think the Bucks will lose into the Saints. So I think it's Carolina all day for me. Washington at Dallas. I'm picking Dallas because Washington already has their place in the postseason. They got the 7th seed locked up, so I think Dallas is just going to try and finish with a winning record. Chicago at Green Bay. This is going to be a good bounce back game for the Packers. Jacksonville and Indiana. I'm picking Jaguars. Sorry, Indiana, but I think losing Richardson and losing to the Giants like that, this is a game of pride now for Doug Peterson and Mac Jones. Buffalo and New England. I'm going to pick New England on this one. I'm going to make it interesting. I think the Bills have the number 2 seed locked up. I don't think the Ravens can catch them. And New England played them tough last week. The only reason New England would lose this game is because they're literally tanking. We'll see what ends up being the case. But I think New England is going into this playing the backups, and I think New England starters are better than Trubisky and the Buffalo backups. So we'll see. Giants at Philadelphia. I'm going to pick the Giants. I don't think Saquon's going to be playing. I think they're going to be resting because they got the number 2 seed locked up, whether it's Detroit or Minnesota. So they're just going to kind of let the Giants ruin their season, I think, or their tank anyway. I think Drew Lock wants to make a name for himself, a case that he should be starting next year. I'm going to turn the light on because it's actually getting pretty dark. And now it's too bright, but video's almost over. So Saints and Bucks, I'm going to pick the Bucks. Sorry, Falcons fans, but I think the Saints are just dead in the water at this point. I don't think Derek Carr is going to be playing, so I think the Saints know they're done. Houston and I can't read my handwriting. I think that's the Titans. Jacksonville played in it. So yeah, the Titans. I'm going to pick the Titans on this one. The Houston already has the number 4 seed locked up, so I think they're just going to rest all their starters because they don't want anyone like Nico Collins to end up the same as Diggs and tank. So Cardinals and Niners. I'm actually going to pick the Cardinals, even though both teams look defeated and done with the season. I think the Cardinals have more pride to play with, and I think the Niners are kind of more embracing the tank. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to play. If Purdy plays, I could see them win, but I don't think Purdy's going to play. Chiefs and Denver. I'm picking Denver. I think the Chiefs are going to let them win because they don't want the Bengals getting in, and thus the Broncos will secure the number 7 seed. Seattle versus the Rams. I'm picking Seattle. Nothing to play for. I think Seattle just has some pride on the line, wants to get a nice win. The Bears and the Giants. Oh wait, I messed up. The Bears and the Seahawks. That was the worst game of the week. I put it in the wrong column. That was a terrible game. That was even worse than the Dolphins and Browns last week. This week I just forgot about it. But Chargers and Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders because the Chargers already have the 5 seed locked up. I'm pretty sure that the Steelers can't catch them even if the Steelers win. But anyways, last game we got Miami and the Giants. I'm picking Miami. The Jets, sorry, the other New York team. Picking Miami, even though I don't think it'll matter, but at least they'll finish with a winning record. The Jets are just done. And the very last Sunday night game, I think, is going to go the way of the Lions, which sucks for the Vikings to end up as the 5 seed, given how they've been playing. But I think this is just Detroit's year, and they're going to prove it by getting a big win over a tough team. And, I mean, the Vikings could have a chance. They looked good against the Packers, but I think the Lions are just something else right now. So those are my picks for the week.